The truth about lovemaking. This is for the gateway to mind, body, and soul harmony. I'd like to share with you the concept that in Time magazine, they talked about your love life can predict potentially how long you will live, but more importantly, the quality of your life. And that is why I wrote the book, Mastering Love, Sex, and Intimacy. Jenny, you know there's 3 distinct types of orgasms, and most men have no clue. Even women are not aware of these 3 distinct, different types of orgasms. You're aware of that, right?
I am.
Clitoral orgasm, and I want to emphasize, when you touch the clitoris, observe how your partner touches herself, and generally speaking, it's very, very gentle. I will add, many women, when they're approaching orgasm, they start touching themselves much more rapidly. There's a change in sequence, but initially, very, very light touch, because you don't know her hormonal level, the cycle she's on, where that touch and how it's going to affect the 13 key areas of the vulva. The mind, the fantasy, visual talk, innuendo. How important is pre-talk before, let's say even in the morning before you lead up to making love at night? Is it important to women?
Very important.
So visual, auditory, kinesthetic, there's different modalities that men and women enjoy, but in particular, find out the love language that your lady or guy likes. And I want to say this clearly, that this is a humorous Cactus Pete, and it's making a point that men have their genitalia external, but there's only 4,000 nerve endings in the male penis. Women have 8,000 nerve endings, which actually connect in the pelvic region to substantially more nerve endings, a total of 15,000 nerve endings, almost triple what any man has the ability to even experience from a standpoint of orgasmic pleasure or intensity. The timing amongst men and women often is off, and we're going to be very clear. Women often need about 20 minutes or more of stimulation. Women are just warming up past the 20-minute point. Most women take about 1 hour before they reach the full phases and plateau to reach orgasmic pleasure. So that's where certain products like peptides, PT141, this helps to allow a man to achieve an erection during kind of the fantasy part of the brain. Because of this peptide, it allows a man to reach hardness, maximum hardness, at the right time. Or if a man has difficulty and he's quite a bit older and he can't reach an erection, and even PT141 mixed with some herbal products that help to clear an enzyme, or the blue pill, if you will, Cialis or Viagra, all of those can work. But some men, when they want to guarantee that, let's say they're talking to their lady into the night, they're a little tired, fatigued, but they want to achieve an erection at the appropriate time after they please the woman. Let's be clear about that. My favorite book on the subject is She Comes First. I also wrote about this in my book, Mastering Love, Sex, and Intimacy. And so in the book, in the last 3 chapters, I go into great detail about this, but I wanted to be very clear that men and women have timing issues, and that timing needs to be brought synergistically, not necessarily to achieve simultaneous orgasm, but to actually achieve mutual satisfaction and understanding each other's love languages. So all of this being said, keep in mind, again, the excitement phase for men often is only about 3 minutes. For females, the phase is at least 20 minutes, up to an hour for most women to reach a full orgasm, because there's excitement, plateau, the orgasmic phase, and then resolution, refraction, and then it starts over again. For women, for most men, they're done for the night, depending on their age. They might start up again and again if they're younger, but we can duplicate that ability as you progress through the phases of life with herbs, peptides, fantasy, proper amount of sleep. All of these things are absolutely essential. But here's the key point. Intercourse will only reach the vagina with no pleasure nerve endings. Dr. Alfred Kinsey, the famous Kinsey reports, hired 5 gynecologists. He had 900 women examined, and they found 13 external areas of the vulva that had stimulatory nerve pleasure endings, including the clitoris. However, 98% of the women did achieve stimulation and pleasure in the external area, but virtually 100% felt no pleasure whatsoever within the vagina. I think that is probably astonishing, not only to most men who, when I give a lecture of this nature, I see the men nodding their head, they don't believe it, and every woman in the audience is nodding their head, it's true. Although some women will even fake themselves into thinking they should be having vaginal orgasms when it's virtually impossible. So keeping that in mind, Sally met Harry, is that what it was? And she's faking this orgasm. Almost every woman has learned in the bedroom to become an actress. And it's unfortunate because it breaks down the bond between men and women, because the initial love relationship is based on essentially lack of truth. And we want to bring truth back into the bedroom. And that's where we are talking about the proper techniques, the mindset, and the ability to understand the pleasure sites of a woman, and more importantly, how it all really begins in the brain, sex in the brain, right? So I know you're going to have some questions for me at the end, but when we talk about using some of these herbal products, whether it be a pharmaceutical, which is Cialis, Viagra, Levitra, or you use a Mori-V or passion pill, which is fast becoming a big favorite amongst men and women. Whatever you choose, that's just one part of the whole cycle of fantasy, excitement, and lovemaking. Now, many men want to build up their sexual energy and tension and not ejaculate. And that's a proven technique to kind of transmute that sexual energy into your business, into your career, into your love life, and build and build and build with your lover. And maybe after the third day or a week or two, depending on your age, you're going to find that at some point you're going to want to release. And I know of men that sometimes will go a month, but they're having sex every day. They're having intimacy and love, and they're building all this energy and tension. And when they finally release, it's an amazing relief and enjoyable, but it's not the main focus, if you know what I mean. And that should not be the main focus for women either. But imagine if a woman and a man were to have an encounter, and if they were start to realize the way you breathe through your nose builds nitric oxide, increases pleasure. Did you know that the nose has the equivalent tissue built into the nose that's equivalent to erectile tissue? And if you're a mouth breather, which you breathe at night, I know of some people, many people in fact, who have sleep apnea and other sleeping disorders, they breathe all night with their mouth open. You need to practice breathing through your nose during exercise, during sleep. Even if you have to tape your mouth shut, there's a great book written by a gentleman, and it's titled Breathing. And it's a great book. But the point is, it improves orgasmic pleasure. So the whole concept of mastering love, sex, and intimacy, and she comes first, is to be able to time and know and please your mate, and then enjoy mutual love and excitement. Thank you very much.
Thank you.